Oh, it's good knees.
Who has good knees.
No, mine are also finished.
Everybody's a gone.
Yeah.
All of you, we're delighted that you could join us this evening. You may know that the Rolling Knicks Sports Foundation has organized a number of successful events across India in squash, and now we're delighted to announce that Rolling Knicks Sports Foundation brings yet another very, very exciting sporting event, the Indian Premier Squash League 2018. It will be India's first international squash league and will take place right here at this beautiful and prestigious club, the CCI. This format turns an individual sport has been a way of your life. Tell us a little about your journey with fitness and the importance, in the view of communicating it, like just being fit, you being fit. How do you keep up to that?
I think it's a tremendous asset in life to be fitter than not, because it allows you to grapple with far greater challenges that may come your way. And I think the only way to have a sustained commitment to fitness, and I would even go as far as to say a lifetime commitment to fitness, is if you start young. So anybody who's played any kind of competitive sport at a young age or has been part of a team sport or any kind of sport will value the returns that you get on the time you invest in fitness. And which is why I think I'm one of the greatest things that's happening right now in the confines of this these two squash courts and the area in between, is that we're seeing what will probably redefine the way squash is viewed as far as youngsters are concerned, and also leave with them not just maybe a competitive career, but the gift that they'll carry forward into their lives. I'm sure, as you were chatting earlier, the knees and the impact on the knees of sport in younger years notwithstanding, I'm sure your squash, even if you play, I'm sure you play recreationally, you're a masters player.
Yeah.
It has an incredible impact on how you feel about yourself,
Absolutely.
how you take on other challenges. And I think that's the beauty of sport. And fitness for the sake of fitness without sport can be done, but it's far more challenging, because when you're chasing a goal, it becomes that much easier, and commitment becomes easier. So any kind of fitness, when it's goal oriented and can be tracked, when you're chasing that set goal, is perhaps more inspiring than just fitness for the sake of fitness. And that's my 2 cents in it.
Wonderful. Many kids today struggle with balancing sport and academics. So, what would be your advice to them?
I think the kids don't struggle, it's the parents. It's clearly, everybody wants their kids to be really, really bright, but at the same time, maybe they want their son to be Virat Kohli. And that pretty much sums it up. So if there's no cricket, which eats up all the sports money in this country, and maybe deservedly so for those who love cricket, but I think the entire orientation towards sport, and I'm being very general, I'm generalizing here. I know there are exceptions to this, but largely we see that either parents push their kids into academia in the hope that they will, now be many other professionals along with the usual lawyer, doctor, engineer space. And if any kind of sport needs to be followed, it should be cricket, because cricket is where you get big returns. But for every successful Virat Kohli, there are millions and millions and millions others who perhaps haven't had that degree of success. So broadening the focus of Indian sport is I think very important. And I thought I don't know if it's my place to say that, or even if I'm qualified, having not really been a squash player of any consequence. I think, and again, I could be wrong, and please feel free to correct me. One of the reasons perhaps we don't end up reaching where we should as a community, as a culture, is because we don't value sport enough as such. And we've seen our neighboring country produce some very fine squash players, so it's not a genetic disadvantage. In certain sports, yes, Caucasian bodies are more predisposed to dominating certain sport, but we've had proof of our kind do so well. Again, I'm trying to compare apples and oranges here, but the point is, if we push students, young children into sport at an early age, it will yield eventually medals for India. You can't lament and say, oh, why don't we bring back Olympic medals, or why don't we dominate the sport globally, without actually having an impetus on grassroots inculcation of an interest in sport and fitness. Sorry, that was a very strong statement, but
Thank you
that's
so
my
much
two
for your
cents.
inputs on that. That was amazing. Abhinav, can you tell us a little bit more about
Malaysia have shown really good interest that they will. As far as our Indian players are concerned, we have most of our top junior national champions in under 17, under 15, who have shown interest to play this league. Of course, this helps them to be part of the same team when they are playing, and they're juniors and seniors together. So it helps our upcoming generations to learn from the men's.
you to us? Anybody for some questions? You all had some questions, guys? Why don't you come?
You shouldn't play squash.
Yes, my older daughter plays squash. I've got a 13 and a 3-year-old. So the 13 does play, but she's actually more involved in acting.
Krishna, we have a question for you from the audience.
I think all of us at any level, when we are going into a competitive atmosphere, there is an element of nerve. That's undoubtedly the truth. I've seen Roger Federer also say that before a big match, he is nervous. My view is that the more you play, the more matches you play, you learn how to deal with it. The nerves are never going to go away. It's just that you learn how to adapt with that feeling that you get in the stomach or that little feeling in your legs where you're a little weak. You just have to continue to push through it. And what are we nervous about at the end of the day? Is winning everything or being able to perform at your best more important? So my advice is keep playing the matches, keep playing the tournaments, and you will slowly find that the nerves sort of dwindle away probably in the first 3-4 points.
Anybody else? Good questions
Yes.
for you.
Would you like to play the role of a squash player and
Well, the point is, as an actor, if a role excites you and if one of the things you do in that is play squash, I would love to do that. If I had to play the role of a squash player per se, I would love to do that because I thought in some way, if you can, I think cinema has a very, very powerful impact on people. And if maybe seeing someone play a squash player well will encourage other people to take up squash, then I would definitely like to do that as well.
Just so that you know, that's my name.
Okay.
You can come out.
They feel a little yeah, they like a zoo. Like a petting zoo. You can pet them.
Keep the door open only.
I know, that's we're just chatting
A lot
about.
of questions from our juniors here.
And then I don't. Oh, is that for me? I think that's for him.
For me, Rishad can answer that.
My goal or my target when I started squash at your age. My first match that I played here at CCI was in the handicap tournament where I was given 8 love handicap. And in those days you could only win after you won your serve, if you remember. I don't think you know that.
He doesn't know the American
Yeah.
edition.
Okay, he just had to get 1 point.
And I lost all 3 games without winning a point. That was my first match. And I just wanted to do better the next time. And I was able to win a game the following time. And then I started, after a while I realized that I had some potential. Thanks to my family, they encouraged my sport, sent me off for training in various places. And as I developed as a squash player, 12, 13, then my target became national champion. So it doesn't happen overnight. You have to play the sport to then set realistic goals.
Abhinav, could you also share your journey so far? How did you start squash and how did you reach so far?
So he has a better idea because he's been a national champion. I have reached about top 8 in most of the categories, playing my juniors and men's. So yeah, I started at the same age at about 10 without any particular focus. Just started, loved the sport. Then started playing tournaments because back then there was not much academy setups and everything. So played few tournaments, got beaten up badly and then started becoming better. And yeah, then was lucky to play the World Junior Asian Juniors back in 2009. And then I played the men's and came up to top 8. So yeah, that's.
Anybody else? Okay. So we just have a very interesting thing for the evening today. We're going to be playing a quick game of squash with our junior champions, Arman Darukhanawala and Jay Pandole. So can we have that? Pandole. So
Yeah, we can.
should we
That's
do
your
that
nephew.
here?
That's my nephew and that one's my grandson. In the red shirt.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So have you ever played sport?
I did. I tried. I was pushed a lot by my dad actually for tennis, but didn't have the drive. And I look back now, and that's one of the things I regret. And I hope I can push and give that passion to my son. Let's see. His dad used to be a state runner as well, so maybe the genes will conspire.
What do you do for fitness?
घुसो मत घुसो मत घुसो मत दूर से लो सब सेंटर सेंटर Yeah, thank you.
Can you have a time for one shot?
Thank you.
बच्चों को
You just stick your head out of this. Okay, I'll be here.
गुलजी थोड़ा
Thank you.
They're going to play.
Yeah.
These two. Yeah.
No, we'll let them. We'll quickly wrap this up and we'll.
Jay.
Okay, 5 minutes. We'll quickly wrap this. Okay.
तो बोलिए क्या कहना चाहेंगे कितना अच्छा लगता है जब इस तरह के इवेंट पे आप आते हैं और लोग प्रोत्साहित करते हैं कितना अच्छा लगता है
मेरा ये मानना है कि जितनी भी स्पोर्ट्स इवेंट्स हो सकती हैं हमारे देश में कम है क्योंकि हमारे देश में इतनी सारी काबिलियत है इतने सारे युवा हैं जो स्पोर्ट्स का हिस्सा बन सकते हैं जिन्हें मौके नहीं मिलते और जब ऐसी इवेंट्स ऑर्गेनाइज होती हैं इंडियन प्रीमियर स्क्वॉश लीग ऑर्गेनाइज होती है तो और लोगों को मौके मिलते हैं एक तो स्पोर्ट्स से वाकिफ़ होने के और दो इन स्पोर्ट्स में हिस्सा लेने के लिए मेरा ये मानना है कि जो अभिनव ने किया है यहाँ पर ये एक बहुत बड़ी प्राप्ति है इससे बहुत से बच्चों को यंग एडल्ट्स को अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलेगी स्क्वॉश के बारे में जानकारी प्राप्त करने की और जो ऑलरेडी स्क्वॉश प्लेयर्स हैं उन्हें मौका मिलेगा एक लेवल और एक स्टैंडर्ड के प्लेयर्स को परफॉर्म करते हुए देखने का और मैं मानती हूँ कि इससे बड़ा प्रोत्साहन शायद किसी स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन को नहीं मिल सकता
How much you feel proud today, like who has come to your event to grace your event?
So it's very good to have a support from someone like Gul, who's come all the way to support squash. We definitely need more support in terms of some known people coming in, and hopefully she knows squash. So that's the whole reason she's here as well. So it's really good, and hopefully this event will be a different level of event in squash and. we'll try to make it as big as possible. Yeah.
स्पोर्ट्स की हम बात करें तो इंडिया में इतना अहदा इतना लेवल उनको नहीं दिया गया है जितना हम क्रिकेट को देखते हैं या और स्पोर्ट्स को देखते हैं, तो इसका कारण क्या है?
फ़िलहाल जो हमारी आउटलुक है, जो हमारा नज़रिया है, पूरा क्रिकेट फोकस्ड है। और अगर पब्लिक का नज़रिया क्रिकेट फोकस्ड रहेगा तो जो ब्रांड्स स्पोर्ट को फंड करते हैं उनका भी फोकस क्रिकेट की तरफ रहेगा। जब खेलने वाले लोग और जब पब्लिक दूसरे स्पोर्ट्स के बारे में जागरूक होगी तो जाहिर है ब्रांड्स भी उन स्पोर्ट्स में इन्वेस्ट करना चाहेंगे। तो अब जैसा कहते हैं, बॉल अब जनता के कोर्ट में है, पब्लिक के कोर्ट में है कि वो किस स्पोर्ट में रुचि दिखाना चाहते हैं। उसी स्पोर्ट को फिर ब्रांड्स के ज़रिए फंडिंग ज़रूर मिलेगी, पर पहल तो लोगों को खुद करनी पड़ेगी। ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई रेड कार्पेट लगा देगा, बोलेगा आइए अब आप ये गेम खेलिए। पर मैं बस इतना ही कहना चाहूँगी कि स्पोर्ट से जो भी लोग बचपन से जुड़े रहते हैं वो ज़िंदगी भर जुड़े रहते हैं और उनको स्पोर्ट के साथ जुड़े रहने का बहुत बहुत फ़ायदा होता है। थैंक यू वेरी मच। थैंक यू।